So we have another big move for the Baltimore Ravens, signing a big physical run-stuffing nose tackle to their defensive line to really shore up that defense. Plus, things are heating up with a possible Lamar Jackson extension before the season starts, with Brock Purdy getting a big contract extension. This now bumps Lamar down to the 10th overall paid quarterback in the National Football League, with guys like Trevor Lawrence and Tua and Jared Goff all getting paid more than the two-time MVP. Plus, we got a really fun stat that bodes well for the Baltimore Ravens heading into the Week 1 matchup against the Buffalo Bills. Also, a statement from Roquan Smith and much more Baltimore Ravens news. So welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock. As always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. At number 1, let's talk about the quarterback contract news. We know Brock Purdy just got paid a massive $53 million per year contract. To put that in perspective, Lamar Jackson's only making $52 million per year, and Dak Prescott just signed a $60 million per year deal. Like we said, this bumps Lamar down to 10th. We can agree that Lamar's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Guys like Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, all these guys that are getting paid more than Lamar Jackson. It's reported that the Baltimore Ravens want to get an extension done with Lamar Jackson before the season starts, and this would also help to open up some salary cap, because in the future years, the next 2 seasons, Lamar Jackson's cap hit will go to $74.5 million per season. That's going to be really hard to build a consistently well-rounded roster around Lamar Jackson whenever he's taking up that much salary cap. Like in 2024, he was taking up $32 million. This year in 2025, he's taking up $43 million, which is about 15% of the team's cap. But next year, that'll go to about 25%. So the Ravens definitely need to get that extension done with Lamar Jackson. They want to, and look out for that contract extension. Now Lamar is 10th on the list. At number 2, great move for the Baltimore Ravens. They signed John Jenkins, free agent that was previously with the Las Vegas Raiders. Defensive tackle depth was the biggest concern for me, still on the Ravens roster, because we talked about Michael Pierce's retirement. And if Nnamdi Madubuike or Travis Jones were to miss any time, you were looking at some major holes on that run defense. There's just not a lot of depth there. It was basically Nnamdi, Travis Jones, and then Broderick Washington. But now you have a legitimate starting caliber run-stuffing nose tackle to be added into that rotation on those first and second downs. I actually went back and watched some of the film myself, and I was like, wait, didn't we play the Raiders last year? Yeah, we did in week 2. The Raiders defense did a heck of a job slowing us down, by the way. Max Crosby and that defensive front caused a lot of disruption. But John Jenkins, they really got him out there against the Baltimore Ravens when we came out in our heavy personnel on first and second down. They didn't put him out there on third down a lot. There's a lot of second downs he wasn't out there. Mainly on first down, he was out there. Or if the Ravens went heavy, Jenkins was out there in their package. I don't think I ever saw Jenkins on the field while Justice Hill was out there, but mainly whenever Henry and Ricard were out there. I didn't watch every snap, but I just want to show you this snap right here. Tyler Linderbaum, obviously one of the best centers in the NFL. Jenkins gives up 0 ground here. Look at him. He's lining up at 1 tech right over the outside shade of the center right there. He pops Linderbaum. Linderbaum's trying to get some push there. He doesn't give up much ground. He's 6'3", 327 pounds. Then you see him shed, get off the block, and try to get in on the action. Only a 2-yard pickup for Derrick Henry. And there's tons of plays like this littered in his tape. In different games as well. You can see in this run stuff against the Patriots and some other teams. He's very good against the run, very effective. But when it comes to giving up ground straight forward and power run plays, he's very stout in that manner. He's 35 years old, but still playing some good football. Like we said, has some real size at 6'3", 327. Played the last 2 years with the Raiders, had 61 tackles in 2023. And then he followed that up last year with 46 tackles. really was effective in helping bolster the Raiders' run defense. So the Ravens addressed one of their biggest remaining needs. Not a lot of holes in this roster right now. The Ravens are in very good position moving forward into their mandatory minicamp and training camp right around the corner. At number 3, let's talk about what Roquan Smith had to say about facing the Buffalo Bills in a Week 1 Sunday Night Football matchup. Here's what he had to say.
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, what was the first game you looked for when you looked at the schedule, Roquan?
The first game of the year. That's how you start the season off, and that's going to set the tone for the entire season. So that's the first game for sure.
Well, that's at the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, just how I like it. Exactly.
Okay.
Revenge is best served as a cold dish, so it'll be nice to get up there in Buffalo and get a little payback for those guys from the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's right away, and it's the first Sunday night game of the year, too. So obviously the NFL knows that this is a nice, juicy piece to throw out there on a Sunday night. How much have you been thinking about the Ravens and the Bills throughout the last few months?
Honestly, man, those guys they won the game fair and square last year, and that misery sets in all offseason, and you use that as motivation throughout the offseason. So just knowing that, we have everything it takes to be the best team in this NFL, and have to show that game in and game out. And it's going to start up there in Buffalo, and just like everything we've gone throughout the offseason and how the season ended, it just unleashing it on those guys. And I'm sure they have the same plan.
Revenge is best served as a cold dish, he says. I can't wait to see the violence and the tenacity and the intensity that will be in between these two teams. It feels like a rivalry is really forming between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. That happens whenever teams meet in the playoffs. And within the last few seasons, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen have met in the playoffs, also in the regular season, and they've really battled. They've really went back and forth. Unfortunately, the Bills have gotten the best of the Ravens in the postseason, but during the regular season, the Ravens have gotten the best of the Bills. So the Ravens going to have to flip that script and not only take care of business in Week 1 in the regular season, but also get it done in the postseason, which they're absolutely capable of. But speaking of that game, and that Sunday Night Football matchup, at number 4, the Baltimore Ravens actually have the best winning percentage in the NFL on Sunday Night Football. And you can look at total primetime games as well. The Ravens are very, very good in primetime. But when it comes to Sunday Night Football, no team is better than the Ravens. And they're going to be playing, balling out with the whole world watching. Week 1, Sunday Night Football, man, that's going to be an electric game. At number 5, a couple of other key updates here. I like what Dev says on X. Roster-wise, this is EDC's best since he took over as general manager. They're deep everywhere. The gaps we quibble about are not as wide as 2024, and on paper, pass rush and O-line looks even better. No roster is perfect, but he's made strides in these areas. They just need to get over the hump. That's what it comes down to. It's not like the Ravens roster wasn't good enough to win a Super Bowl last year. Their performance in key moments, not making the big play or making the big mistake, was what stopped the Baltimore Ravens from winning a Super Bowl, which has been a theme whenever the Ravens have been in the playoffs. However, I'll say Lamar Jackson looks more confident than he ever has been. Despite the 2 turnovers that Lamar had, he still looks confident. On that game-ending drive, without his wide receiver 1 and 2 marching up and down the field with a minute and a half, it was a beautiful drive, a thing of beauty. Lamar Jackson also looked very confident against the Pittsburgh Steelers the week prior. It feels like his mentality and his confidence in the postseason has really kicked up to another notch. Now we just need to minimize some of the mistakes and get the whole team around him. Specifically, we got to get that defense to force some more turnovers. The Ravens are historically bad with creating turnovers since Lamar's been in the playoffs. If you look at the numbers, we did a study on it like a month or two ago. It's the worst in NFL history of a quarterback going a span of years in playoffs and getting 0 turnover support from his defense. The Ravens adding out Malachi Starks and Mike Green, some young, splash playmaking type of players, some young talent could help out in that department as well, man. But let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section below. I love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.
Ray, when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.